Okay, let's do some quick work with the graphing calculator to make sure we understand where to find all the buttons to do what we want to do. Here's an equation. I want to put this equation in. This is the situation up here. So I want to find what is y when x is 10. You should be able to figure out this equation. It's talking about $200 in a bank account put in 2006, 4% interest. So I want to know in 10 years how much money is in the account. So I want to put this equation in the calculator. First I have to turn it on. Make sure you can see it down here. All right. Equations get put in here. Looks like I already put it in before, but that's where you put it in, right? 200. Here's his, let's do it again. Clear this. 200. 1.04. These are parentheses are here. How do I put the exponent? Exponent is above the division sign to the power of, and I want x. X is this button next to the alpha. That's the variable button, all different kind of variables. No matter what variable is in the problem, you're going to put in x. Okay, now I want to graph it, but if you can see right here, this plot 1 is dark. That's going to cause problems maybe. If my statistics that I have been put in a way that's incorrectly, in a way that won't therefore graph well, what's going to happen when I try and graph, I'm going to get this dimensions mismatch. That's saying there's something wrong, or you're going to get some sort of error, something wrong with my statistics. The easiest way is, instead of getting rid of the statistics, let's quit, go back in here and I can go up. So I'm flashing on that plot 1. I'm going to enter. And what I'm doing is I'm changing it from highlighted to not highlighted. So now it's not going to try and graph whatever's in my statistics. I'm going to graph this. The button is right here. And the problem is I can't see my graph because my dimensions of this screen don't show the information here. I want to change the window dimensions. And window right here. You can see I'm pressing window. It's saying my x is going to go from -10 to 10. Well, in this problem, that's okay. I mean, I don't really need negative, but so let's just change it to -1 instead of -10. Make sure when you do negative, you use this negative button, not the subtraction. So I'm going to go from -1 to 10. The y, however, while it may go from -10, it's got to go way above 10 because it starts with $200 in the bank account and goes up from there. So let's go up to, say, 300. And now let's graph and see what we see. Oh, there it is. I didn't even need all this number. I probably could have started something around 150, maybe even 200. You know, 200 is right where it's going to cut through there. Anyway, so what I want to do now, you can see there's the graph. Maybe I can put something under it to make you can see that better. So. What I'm going to want to do next is figure out what is y when x is 10. Now one way is I can try and find that point by tracing this. Here's my point. It's starting at x is 4.5 and y then is 238. 0.6. I'm going to try and get over to 10, but it's unlikely to stop directly on the 10. So one thing I can do is just put in, if I'm in this trace function, then I can ask for a certain x value of 10, and I can enter, and it will tell me my y value. All right, and it got me right there. Y is $296.05 when we round that off. The other way, of course, is I could go to the table. Table is above graph, second table. And I can just scroll down to 10. And here again, you can see it rounded off, $296.05. Now the problem, of course, is what if I need something more exact than the hundredths? And this table isn't showing me that. So I do have to use the trace function in those situations. So let's put down my answer, $296.05. And what if I also want to know what will y be, and what will x be when y is 250? When will I have $250? Well, I can see it sometime between 5 and 6, but I can't get it exactly. And in fact, even if we go back to our graph over here and I trace, I can get a little better here. I can trace this along to try and get this to be 250. And I'll get better, but it still won't be exact. And we'll talk a little later about how to get exactly. Well, it's 250.96, 249.81. It's close. It's pretty good approximation. But if I wanted exact, we'll talk about how to do that. All right. What if the problem wants something that's not on this graph? X is 25. I type that in. It says invalid because it only can find numbers in this trace function. Oops. If they're on the graph. Remember, I set my window to 0 to 10. So I could change my window and do this. Or now I can go back to the table. And I don't even want to go down, down, down. I can change where this starting number is. I can change my table set. I can also change if it goes up by 1 or not. So I'm going to go to table set, which is above window, second table set. I'm going to start at 10, and I'm going to go up every 5. Now I'm going to go back and look at my table. Oh, 10, 15, 20, 25, it says right there, is $533.17. After 25 years without putting any more money, oops, very messy, but I will have $533.17 in that problem, in that account. All right, so what do we talk? Let's talk about intersection. There's another problem. There's another account, and I want to know when there will be more money in this account that goes up faster. So I'll come back to my y equals. Let's try and get. I'm going to put in my second equation below it. It's going to be $150 in an account that goes up 5%. I'm going to go to the power of x, graph the two of them, see if we can see where they cross. If I can't see it, by the way, I can't get the intersection. It has to be on the screen. We can see it is not. It's going to happen much farther away. So let's change our window just to be safe. Let's change our x to 100. All right, now we have one. Oops, it's hard to see that. It goes up too fast. But I need to change. Oh, now we don't have that, so I have to change my window here again. Oops, it's still thinking. Window. Now I need my y maximum to be much higher. Let's change it to 2000. Because all I want to do is make sure I can see where they cross. All right, there's the first equation. And there's the second one, and it started up below and it went above. So now I can find the intersection. And how do I do that? I do that through this calculation above the trace. Again, it's because I'm looking at things on the screen. It's going to be related to the trace. I'm going to calculate number 5, intersection. I can press the 5 or I can move down. And now it's going to ask me, which are the two graphs that you want to check the intersection for? First curve, yes, that one. Second one over there, yes. Do I want to guess what it is? I don't really want to, but I could if I want to bring this down. I think it's around here, but you don't need to do that. Just press enter. Now it's thinking, and it's going to tell me, oh, my intersection is at x is 30, there'll be $650.27. So at 30 years and 6/100ths of a year, so just after 30 years, they will both have this amount of money, right? And so then I'll know when just over that amount, just past that time, that this account will have more money in it. 30 years is a long time. Probably won't have the money in the account still at that point. Finally, I can use this method in order to answer this question over here. When will y be 250? Well, let's put in a new equation. Y equals 250. I don't need any of this stuff. So back to my first equation. When I graph, I now have my first equation. And I want to know when y will equal 250. Oop, that didn't. Oh, I have an x. I don't want that x. So here's my first graph of this the initial problem up here. And I have another graph, y equals 250. So I want to see where is that intersection point again. Calculate intersect. And yes, yes, yes. And I find out when. After 5 years and 0.68, after 5.689 years, which I can change that 0.689, multiply it by 12 to find out the months, I will have $250 in the account.